Look at the thing spin. Ah, you're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's the 16th of January. Well, today it is. Whenever you're listening to this, it's when you're listening or watching this. Welcome back to church. Hey, how's everyone doing? First things first, like always, this one might be a little bit of a longer episode, so bear with me later on. Right now, we're just doing our normal stuff, our housekeeping stuff. Curtis, way to hear from you, buddy. Yeah, man, I kind of agree with a lot of what you said about talking about the wall for the last episode. That was yeah. Hopefully, we can be better. It just is what it is. Eh. But we'll move on and we'll move forward, and hopefully things will be better. Maybe, hopefully, by the time someone's watching this, the shutdown thing will be done, and we'll have fixed all of our problems, and everything will be happy and hunky dory, and we're all in love with everybody else, and everything's great. But if not, we'll continue moving on. So like I said, this week, I kind of wanted to go into a little bit more of the churchy philosophical stuff of cheers everybody, make sure you're drinking water. The philosophical stuff of the church. Mainly because I've gone over it a little bit and I just kind of felt like it was time, and I kind of wanted to, felt the drive, felt the need to. So yeah, I think religion gets a really bad rap nowadays. Some of that is some rather intelligently done work by Richard Dawkins and some other ones. He's the one that always jumps out at me about it gets a really bad rap. Now, I'm not saying that it's totally undeserved in all cases. You've got some really bad things, some reprehensible, heinous stuff that religion has done throughout, in specific cases for each one, throughout all the time. Now, the past, probably into the future. Unless we can fix it. Again, hunky-dory, all of that good stuff. But it served a purpose. So, it was just like any other tribe. It started out like every other tribe mentality. We joined tribes. We started having these tribes because we needed protection from, predators. They also helped, impart knowledge to one another. It helped us grow. Hey, don't eat that fruit because that's going to kill you. Eat this. Well, you'd probably be the other way around. Eat the fruit, not the mushroom. But whatever. You get what I'm saying. And it's just over time, the tribe meant we kind of had these tribes, and we kind of evolved our tribes, and it kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now we have more or less two. There's a growing third kind of tribe thing. You have your political tribes. You have your I'm talking about the religious tribes. My big thing, and now you have a growing. I mean, some people would kind of get weird about it, but commercial tribes, the Apple people versus the Android people, or just also Windows versus Apple. Same thing, really. And then that kind of stuff. I mean, that's a little. We definitely see through that one a little bit better than all the other ones. Probably because it has less to do with our everyday lives and all that fun stuff. But these tribes, I mean, originally they were good, and you needed them to get through. But like I said, as they grew, they started doing stuff that was not necessarily functional behavior. I mean, it might have been functional at the time, but you start doing stuff you have, the Catholic Church and the priest stuff. That's, kind of well known. You got the Islamic faith and genital mutilation stuff, which is not necessarily just them. You also have that in a lot of old animistic cultures as well. So don't get it twisted. It's not it's just not one group doesn't. Okay, so you have female genital mutilation on one side, you have male mutilation on the other side with circumcision. It doesn't really matter. Both are messed up. You got Scientology. You kind of see that one. They kind of got a little crazy there. They kind of went a little off the rails. Hey, can always bring it back. I think, I've just because you believe some crazy, or people think you believe some crazy nonsense, doesn't mean you can't not believe it. And I see, like Leah Remini talks on JRE. I think it was like the second to last time she was on, or whatever the last time. Like when she started out in Scientology, it was really positive because like the messages it was giving early on, and I don't even care about like the theology of the Thetans and everything, like, but like the positive aspect of like relating to one another, that was good. But then they kind of went a little North Korea on everybody, and you guys start ratting out, and that's kind of where things go wrong. There's always like this step where like it just goes a little too far, and it's always to protect the tribe. Like that's the whole purpose of what like the religious things do. Like they're meant to protect the tribe, and their tribe is their members, it's their congregation, it's their, who's in the synagogue, who's in the temple, who's in what have you. Like, so it's understandable that different groups want to protect their members and want to protect what's theirs. And especially like early on in most religions were tied to people groups. Like the Jews are a religion and also I hope I'm not getting this wrong, ethnic group. So like they're all tied together. Now it's less so now that you have, especially with newer religions, it's less likely, but you still have Mormons, that's one of the really new ones outside of like Scientology. That's still white people. Like there was a group of white people in New York, and they kind of had then they moved, and we kind of stayed the same. Not that there's not diversity, but it's a majority thing. Like. Okay. When you think Buddhist, you're thinking mostly like out of China and Indonesia, Thailand, like that area. Okay. But there's also like Muslims have moved in their area and they've grown and prospered, and that's awesome. But for the most part, we all like major religions started in people groups, and it was also like a function of helping that people group prosper. Like the Jews got told, hey man, go slaughter everybody so we can move into this land. That was like part of their religious mandate. And then over time, they've kind of evolved and changed. And the Jewish God doesn't really want them to go do that anymore, outside of defending themselves. And that's, again, individual to the Jewish church. They can have whatever they want, and that's their thing. What I'm getting back to is like they existed to protect the tribe. The Church of Consciousness's thing is that we're all in one tribe. That's the idea that you should protect your tribe is not a bad one. Like we should protect our tribe, but the problem is the tribe is everyone. Like it doesn't matter if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, if you're Buddhist, if you're Christian, if you're atheist, agnostic. It doesn't matter if you're an animist, if you're a Wiccan. We are all one tribe. We're all humans, conscious humans for the most part. There are some. I heard some pretty nasty stories about something that happened in November. Oh, it makes you wonder about humans' consciousness. Some humans' consciousness. But that's not for me to judge them. That's just a sad state of affairs. But like, if we change that mentality, if we change our perception that, hey man, like. In the Church of Consciousness, I don't own this thing. I'm trying to present it to you, so you own it with me. It's a universe like I always loved in like old sci-fi, and not even old sci-fi, in sci-fi in general. Futurama comes to mind. The Universalist Church, where it's got everything. It's the crocodile guy. That is the Pope of the universe. It's just fantastic. Like that's kind of what I foresee this. And I know this has been tried before and all this other stuff. And maybe I failed, maybe we don't. But like we can all get together. There's so many things that we all just agree on. That's why I said this is not like a religion. It's more of a philosophy. As long as you get along with the philosophy, I don't care what you believe in. Personally, like you can believe, like if you want to believe in the Christian God and you want to come hang out with my church too, that sounds awesome, because I think the Christian faith has some really good tenets and some really good ideas, and you might be right about some stuff. Who knows? But I also don't think I'm going to turn this camera a little bit so we can get a little bit better shot. That did not help at all. Whatever. Like Jewish faith, I think you have some fantastic ideas and some fantastic points. Muslim faith, Buddhist faith, and also to a certain extent the Hindu faith more than anything else. Mostly because of the acceptance of new information. I definitely like that part. It's more baked in. But hey, they're all good. They all have positives. And your story might be right. Like, I don't have a story. Like, I'm working on the church's Bible because I think, just like every other church, it should have a holy book. And not to say you can't reference some other holy books. Because again, they have some really good ideas, man. But making that, like, I get to, hey, L. Ron Hubbard did the same thing. So don't look at me funny. Like, I get to make stories up, and like, some of them are interesting, some of them are harder to do, some of them, what do you make in a Bible? Like, what is a like, because this also should be modern. Like, what does a modern Bible have to entail? Do you need morality plays? Like, we have morality plays. It's called Netflix, man, and you can go watch morality plays every day. But to say that we don't have anything, I mean, so me, I'm just trying to make a little something. And like, some parts are really easy for me to write. Like, it's really easy for me to write the creation model, because like, I don't even necessarily personally believe in the creation model. I think it's a fun story to tell. I think the story that I've written is just like a really interesting one, because I don't necessarily can know how the creation of everything occurred. We have this now, and this is what we got. But like, I definitely have, so like creator beings, like, I don't have the definite idea on that, or like a perfect idea. I have, like, again, a story that I would tell you, but I don't necessarily think that's, and I mean, it doesn't even have like a personal creator being in it. That they are Christian faith, you might have it right. Jewish faith, Muslim faith, there might be a personal, well, in Hindu, most all of them have some kind of personal creator. Like, you might be right. There might be like a thing. I just haven't included that yet. There's just kind of these other things, these forces, as you will. But I definitely have an idea of like consciousness and where that comes from, and that's different. And that's the exciting part. And that's the part, like, I would like to talk to you about. Like, if you want to talk to me about your God and your, like, what you think created the universe, I'm down to talk about like that. We could discuss that all day long. But, and again, this is the more Buddhist aspect. I'm not necessarily, I don't necessarily think there is one, or isn't there? There isn't one. There could be. I totally will hold that as possible. But more in line with the Buddhist faith, like, let's talk about consciousness. Where does that come from, and where does it go, and what's going on with that? I think that's way more of an interesting dilemma, and I have some ideas about that. Which I'll probably go over at some point in time, but not right now, because we've already gone for 13 minutes, and I bored you guys. Well, hopefully you don't find it boring. Hopefully I'm fascinating and intriguing and whatnot, and you've listened to all of them. But for a treat, because again, heavy religious stuff should have some not so heavy religious, not religious necessarily, more fun things. I'm going to start a new little like segment of the show. And it's supposed to be like the positive, fun part, and it's going to be why this universe is cool, and we shouldn't be so scared. And so over the week, I listened to Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan. A lot of you probably know that. And also, Meat Eater and a bunch of other podcasts. Man, I can't even go. If you want to talk podcasts, we can talk podcast. I should do a podcast episode one day. Good idea. Let's do that. But so I read a lot of news articles, especially sciencey news articles, because the rest of them, I mean, I also read a lot of political stuff. Don't get me wrong. But those really make me sad a lot of the time. So then I balance it out by reading positive science things. Most of the time they're positive. You never know. And this one is positive. So scientists, and I'm going to make you look it up, because I'm not going to give you any of the backstory, and it's up to you to go find it if you want to go find it. But they're theorizing there's a new, they're going to propose this new method of propulsion in space where you essentially, it's a pretty smart idea. You get on the asteroid and then you use the materials in the asteroid to make steam or any kind of, I'm guessing, ventable material. And like that's your propulsion, which is like I have no claim to fame. I got nothing. Like I could probably find some drawings in Schwanderbear's house from when I was a kid. But like the asteroid spaceship is going to be the thing that helps us as humans get off of this. Not that this planet isn't lovely. This planet is beautiful. Please stop cutting down the Joshua trees. But again, it's supposed to be positive. Be positive. But like, we should probably not all be here if like a big rock from space comes or CME or something like that. So like, we should probably be elsewhere throughout our solar system, throughout. I mean, shoot, if we could get to Proxima Centauri, that would be pretty cool. And then branch out from there. We should be branching out. That's probably also why there's a lot of tension in the world today, is because like every time we've had a lot of tension, everything gets crazy. Like people like, I'm out, and they leave. Like, religion, I'm going to America, bye. And then they left and they came to America, and like things kind of cooled off, and then we kind of built back up, and then we had some world wars, and then that kind of died down, and then we explored, and then the third world, and blah, 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 blah. So like, maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe we just get too many people. It's just like in any city, not to say that rural areas don't have crime and like gross stuff that happens there. I just heard about some gross stuff back home. But like, in positive side, like let's start moving out. Let's start looking at the next. We've explored. I mean, we still got the oceans to explore, but like other than the oceans, and unless we're going to start building, which I'd also be down with, underwater cities, that would be a nice new thing. We should be getting out there. We should get off this planet. Go hang out on the moon, not Mars. Not that I'm against you, Tesla. If you want to go, Elon, more on you. But we should go to the moon first, then jump Mars, go to the asteroid belt, make some more of our little asteroid floating cities / spaceships, then come back to Mars. We branch out. We go to Europa. We go to Io. We go to, everywhere. We get off this rock and we have some fun. And we take the positive parts that, seem to always go with us. Like the positive stuff goes. Like when we left them, the old world and came to the new world, quote, we white people, whatever. And I mean, that's what I'm talking about with the, moving out. Like, we took the good stuff. We said, okay, we're going to take like the positive things of the Magna Carta, the freedoms that entail, and we're going to take it with us, and we're going to make it a little bit better. Well, like, why don't we do that now? Why don't we say, let's get off this rock and take all the positive things we've learned about cooperation, getting together, working as a team, as one planet, one whole. Let's get off this rock and like start partying in space. That's supposed to be the fun thing. So hopefully, and I will write down and put in the thing at 15 minutes if you want to, miss the heavy duty religious stuff and do more of the fun thing. Go ahead and go in there. But yeah, man, steam, thrusting, asteroids, it's gonna be big. Here's hoping. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great week. Fantastic day, whatever's going on, whatever the difference in time between when you listen to the last one and you're going to listen to this one and you're going to listen to the next one, I hope you're having a great one of whatever those are. And I want you guys to remember that I love all of you. Even if I don't like you, I still love you, and I don't want to see anything bad happen to you. I want you to have the best life that you possibly can. And with that, I'm going to say peace out, and I got to take the dogs to the vet.